SCUM throws you into a ruthless open world of a dystopian future, set on a remote island filled with dangerous wildlife, unfriendly weather, and other convicts just like you. And SCUM focuses heavily on ultra-realistic survival mechanics, and its most unique selling point is the intricate life simulation system, from character metabolism to combat skills. And the game world is beautiful, but also very brutal. It's rich in dynamic environments ranging from dense forests and open fields to towns and military bases, and each area brings its own unique challenges and opportunities, providing a different experience every time you play. And since the release in 2018, the game has come a long way. The developers have been constantly updating and tweaking the game, bringing in new features and mechanics. But what truly makes SCUM stand out is an unprecedented level of detail in survival mechanics. From counting the calories you consume, keeping track of vitamin levels, to monitoring your body temperature, all to maintain your character's health, the game truly immerses you into the grim reality of survival. Well, you have that, and then the adrenaline pumping player versus player combat system, where every encounter with another player can either lead to a valuable alliance or a deadly showdown. SCUM is truly one of the most fascinating survival games you can ever play. So what's the main gameplay of SCUM? Well, it's quite simple. It revolves around surviving, exploring, crafting, hunting, and fighting. And your goal? To stay alive as long as possible, become stronger, and dominate the island, all while dealing with the looming threat of another player and AI-controlled threats. And the game is primarily targeted at players who enjoy hardcore survival games, enjoy realistic mechanics, and are willing to invest their time to learn a complex but rewarding system. This is not the game you pick up and learn to play perfectly in 5 hours. Try more like 500. A typical gameplay session could start with you spawning on a random point on the island, and initially you might have nothing more than basic clothing and a piece of stone, and you will then quickly need to explore surroundings for food, water, and crafting materials. And as you progress, you might find an abandoned house where you discover a backpack and some canned food, but then hold on, you don't have a can opener, so now you've got to find that before you can even get that open. And each moment of gameplay is filled with decisions that affect your survival. The game also has an intricate crafting system. You start with rudimentary recipes like crafting a stone knife or a wooden spear, but as your survival skills improve, you can craft more complex items like firearms, ammunition, shelter, and even plant crops. And the game offers an extensive list of craftable items, which highly encourages exploration to find new materials. And one of the critical gameplay mechanics of SCUM is a detailed character metabolism. Everything you eat or drink has an effect, and balancing your intake of protein, fats, and carbohydrates becomes crucial for a character's performance and survival. Another key feature is the fame point system, which serves as a sort of in-game currency. You earn these fame points by performing various actions like killing enemies or surviving longer durations, which can be used for various benefits like respawning at a chosen location. The game also features an intricate skill system that covers everything from cooking to shooting, and basically the more you perform an action, the better your character becomes at that action. And this system allows for various play styles and character builds, enhancing the game's replayability. And this can also be seen in the game's overall progression. It's almost like a journey from being a castaway to a dominant force on the island. The early game is all about basic survival, finding food and water, and avoiding conflict and scrounging for essential tools, where your primary focus is learning to navigate the metabolism system and understand how to craft basic items. But as you continue to survive, you'll gain skills, fame points, and gradually improve your gear. In this period of like mid-game progression, we'll see you developing more advanced survival strategies like hunting wildlife, farming crops, and crafting advanced weapons, and even beginning to build a basic base. And then the endgame expands that even further, offering the ability to construct large fortified bases, manufacture top-tier gear, and engage in large-scale PvP combat. And territory control becomes a central aspect of the gameplay, as PvP factions will fight for control over bunkers, a town, and resource-rich areas. And the game features a massive open-world map that spans about 144 square kilometers, divided into different sectors. An environment ranges from thick forests and open fields to high mountains, rivers, and even towns. Exploration is a massive part of the game. The world is richly detailed, and discovering new areas can lead to finding better loot, encountering wildlife, discovering points of interest, and potentially running into other players. And the benefit of exploration is the chance to find high-tier loot in military bases, police stations, and other significant locations. But of course, this is also where the other players are, and especially the players who already have top-end gear. So you have to really assess the risk versus reward. And it's also where the complexity and difficulty comes in hand. On one hand, the game offers a deep survival experience unlike any other, but on the other, this can also be very overwhelming for new players. There is a massive steep learning curve, and the game doesn't hold your hand at all. Understanding and managing the metabolism system can be quite difficult initially, and even experienced players can sometimes find themselves succumbing to starvation or illness if they don't balance the nutrition intake properly. And it's also where trial and error, and it plays a crucial part in the game. Whether you're experimenting with different crafting recipes, trying to figure out the best way to infiltrate a military base, or learning how to hunt without scaring away the prey. It is through these mistakes that you learn and adapt. Now that being said, the game does cater to both casual and hardcore players, depending on how you choose to approach it. If you're a more casual player, you can have a really great time just exploring the island, hunting wildlife, and crafting basic tools. And then a more hardcore player, on the other hand, can delve into the intricacies of the metabolism system, min-maxing your skill system, and engaging in high-stakes PvP combat. Now in the first few hours of playing SCUM, it can be really daunting, especially if you're new to survival games overall. You are thrown into a harsh reality of the game with little to no gear, and it's a race against time to find the bare essentials: food, water, and shelter. And there's a real sense of urgency coupled with apprehension as you navigate through the dense forest, abandoned towns, and sprawling fields. And it's in this early game where players will face a massive amount of dangers, both from the environment but also from other players. Weather changes can lead to hypothermia, and wildlife, especially bears and wolves, can pose a significant threat. Then you also have hostile sentries that guard the high value areas like the military bases, ready to gun you down if you just run past them. And that's not even mentioning the other players running around looking for an easy victim. And SCUM's combat system is also more sophisticated than many other survival games. It includes different stances and attack types for melee combat, which adds a level of depth and strategy to the game. And you also have really realistic ballistic factors, including bullet drop. The game also delivers a detailed, engaging world that feels realistic and immersive. Powered by the Unreal Engine 4, the game boasts a stunning rich environment filled with meticulous rendered forests, abandoned towns, and industrial complexes. There's also weather and time of the day effects, which adds to the environmental realism and can significantly impact the gameplay. And the sound design in SCUM is equally top notch. It provides a really good audio backdrop that heightens the sense of realism. The ambient sound of the forest, the chilling growls of the wandering infected, and the distant shots echoing across the map, and even your own heartbeat. Each sound effect is designed to heighten the sense of tension and danger. And the overall atmosphere in SCUM is tense and unpredictable. The constant threat of other players, the roaming infected, and the ever watchful patrols all create a world where danger is around every corner. And this sense of unease, coupled with the game's dynamic weather and time system, makes for an incredibly immersive experience. So in terms of the pros and cons of the game, the first pro is hands down the detailed survival mechanics. And SCUM takes survival to a new level with its in-depth mechanics in terms of the health, nutrition, and metabolism system. So if you're a fan of realistic, intricate survival systems, this game is by far the best one out there. The next pro is the dynamic environment. The game map is vast and filled with a large variety of locations to explore. Dynamic weather and day-night cycles also add to a layer of challenge and immersion. And next pro is the crafting and skill system. And the game actually offers a really rich crafting system, which allows players to build everything from basic tools to fortified bases. And the skill system also lets players tailor their character to their preferred playstyle. So the game has a lot of build diversity, and you could even team up with other players where you can focus on different aspects and then combine together to create a more dynamic team. And next pro is the engaging PvP and PvE combat systems. And the game offers really unique PvP and PvE elements, ensuring a constant sense of danger and tension. This could be the addition of the robotic sentries, but also the zombies that only adds to the thrill. And it's not often you see a game that can actually combine both PvP and PvE this effectively, since most games usually just focus on one of them. Now for the cons. The first con is definitely the steep learning curve. So the complexity that makes SCUM so engaging and adds a lot of replayability can also make it daunting for newcomers. It takes a lot of time to understand and master all survival mechanics, but it can be incredibly rewarding once you figure out how the game works. And next con is the pacing. The game can sometimes feel a bit slow, especially when you're first starting or if you're traveling across the large map without a vehicle. So let's grade the game, shall we? The first thing we're grading on is the gameplay, and the game features some really intricate survival mechanics coupled with really engaging PvP and PvE aspects, which makes the game incredibly engaging. And here I should give it an 8.5 out of 10. And the game is deep, rewarding, and well suited if you love an intricate survival game. But it does have a steep learning curve, so be aware if you're just starting out, and especially if you're new to survival games overall. And next we're grading on is the graphics, sound, and immersion. And the game actually does a really good job of creating an immersive world with detailed environments, dynamic weather system, and day-night cycle. And here give it an 8 out of 10. The audio design also contributes to the overall tense atmosphere. Now, is it the most graphically pleasing game out there? No. But the sound and immersion really makes up for it. And the final thing we're grading on is the replayability and progression. The sheer size of the map and the number of skills to learn and the intricate crafting system ensures plenty of replayability. And here I give it a 9 out of 10. The progression feels really rewarding as you become more adept to surviving and thriving in a challenging world. So the overall grade of SCUM is therefore an 8.5 out of 10. And SCUM has managed to carve out a unique niche in the survival game genre with really detailed mechanics and a vast world and engaging gameplay elements. And it's a promising game with even more potential for growth and refinement later on. Now that being said, SCUM is undoubtedly a difficult game. It's a survival game that doesn't pull any punches. The challenging mechanics and the harsh environments really require patience, skill, and a good dose of trial and error. However, if you enjoy a good challenge, and if you find satisfaction in mastering complex systems, SCUM offers an incredibly fulfilling experience. So if you're a fan of survival games, SCUM offers a really unique and detailed approach to the game that I think you really appreciate. The open world is expansive and filled with secrets to uncover, and the survival mechanics are unlike any other. The open world is expansive and filled with secrets, so whether you're carefully managing your metabolism and crafting advanced tools, or engaging in intense PvP encounters, SCUM offers a rich survival experience that keeps pulling you back for more. And it's, in my opinion, one of the best realistic survival games you can ever play. But what do you think? Do you think it's worth it? Leave a comment down below and let us know. And as always, a like on the video is much appreciated, as it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. So thank you so much for doing that. Also check out the rest of the channel for more game reviews. And I think you really enjoyed the videos on the screen now, so check those out and I'll see you there.